Welcome back to the Windsor Wednesday show. Happy Windsor Wednesday. Hope everyone is doing excellent and had a great weekend. So today we have an alumnus, a student, and also a faculty member joining us on the show. On the top right, we have Domenica Mediati. She is a research assistant at the Incubator Art Lab located at the School of Creative Arts. She's also a graduate from the University of Windsor as well. Down below, we have Professor Elsaid. He is a professor of finance at the Odette School of Business, and we briefly spoke about it. Professor of the Year for Finance, 12 years in a row. Definitely a huge accomplishment. Glad to have you on the show today as well. And then down below in the bottom right, we have Hope Monaco. She is a communication, media, and film student with a double major in psychology joining us today. So we're going to go a round table and really explain why were you Windsor proud and answer a few questions. So the first question we have today on the show is, for a student entering their first year of university, what would be some advice you could provide them? So we'll start at the top with Domenica.
Hey guys, thanks for having me, Lyndon. So for a student entering their first year, what I would recommend is try everything the University of Windsor has to offer. Really, don't knock it until you try it. Join that study group, sign up for an Incubator Art Lab workshop, go to a School of Creative Art gallery exhibition. This way you'll make friends and let yourself fully experience Windsor.
Awesome. Perfect answer, right to the point. Definitely check out the Incubator Art Lab. On the past couple shows, we talked a bit about what it does, but how has your experience been there so far? What are some things you're learning?
I'm just learning how to get back into the Windsor art community, but also I'm learning how to work with unique team members, and also have an amazing mentor, Dr. Jennifer Willett, who has brought me back to the University of Windsor, and I'm so enthralled. With that being said, we have a Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So if you want to follow us, it is at Incubator Art Lab.
Awesome. Thank you. Definitely check that out if you're watching and interested in the School of Creative Arts and all the things that they do have to offer. Definitely give them a follow. So I'm going to jump over to Hope. For a student entering the first year of university, what could be some advice you could provide them? I know you're in your third year, so you've definitely learned a lot so far along the way. What could be some advice you could share?
My advice would be to try to push yourself out of your comfort zone as much as possible. I know it's very nerve-wracking at first, but I promise that it will go a long way. So I suggest you join any club possible. The university is so diverse with so many different clubs with many things that you can do. Join the society if your program has one. Just try to really make new friends, network, and just push yourself out of your comfort zone, because the time flies by so fast and there's so much to do. So I would definitely say try to get involved on campus as much as you can. It's so much fun and it's rewarding.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Professor Elsaid, you've been at the university for a while, and you've seen a lot of students come in and out of the university. What could be some advice you could provide somebody just entering their first year?
Well, thank you for having me, Lyndon. This first year students are going to have quite a different experience than the students who entered university since I started working here and in general. And I think the key is to be more proactive. And both Domenica and Hope have touched on that when they were talking, but even in your classes, it's not going to be the same format where I go in and lecture and you take notes and then you go study and you come see me in the office. Some professors have recorded lectures, some professors do virtual classrooms. So there's going to be like a big onus on the student to be more proactive than they usually would as a first-year student, besides the change that they're going to be facing when they move from a high school environment to like a university, which obviously takes some time for adapting. But it might feel a little bit lonely. So what Hope was saying, try to get into if they have clubs, if they have a society where you're at, this is definitely something that they should make a point of joining to feel more connected to their colleagues and to the university.
Absolutely. And there's definitely been that shift with teaching. How have you been adapting to the new shift in education, especially with classes go online? What are some ways you're adapting to the online lectures?
It has been very interesting. I have never taught online before, and I'm currently teaching 2 intersession courses that are online. And I really feel bad for all my students because not a very good teacher to begin with, but this is really bad. No, but I mean, in all seriousness, it's totally different. There is an aspect where I'm sitting in a classroom, I'm teaching, I can tell if someone's paying attention. I can tell if the class in general is paying attention or not. Now I can't. Even when I do like virtual classrooms, virtual office hours, it's tough. It's gonna take a while for all of us to get. There's really no other choice. So we have to make the best of the situation.
That's exactly it. Making the best of the situation, and we definitely will get through this. Moving on to the next question here. What are some things you've learned on since making the switch to working and learning online? We talked about it briefly, Professor Elsaid, but Hope, what would be some things that you've learned, especially taking courses in the summertime, about learning online? What are some things you've learned so far?
Sure. So I've definitely learned how easily distracted I am. So I've been learning how to schedule my day because now I have all this free time. So it's so important for me to figure out when I'm going to work on my schoolwork and then when I'm going to close the books and just do something outside or do something at home. So definitely just scheduling and figuring out what works best for me and when, and putting my phone away, asking my family to just not come in my room, or making my own little Letty library like in my room, grabbing a coffee and just focusing and scheduling my day. Yeah.
Yes, and you made a great point. It can be almost difficult to know when to shut everything off because you're at home and you're absorbed in all the work and the content, and something to do. And a lot of students and professionals kind of forget when to unplug, right? So you make a great point. Getting outside and getting active and taking a break is definitely important. So Domenica, being a research assistant, what are some things you've learned now working online?
Things that I've learned since going virtual is really that this is yet another teachable moment. As weeks went on, as Hope kind of was saying, I realized that I needed to adapt my routine. For example, I know this may seem a little silly, but it used to take me about 35 minutes to drive into work. And I enjoyed that time. It was a very transitional moment for me. I'd put on my favorite song, I'd sing in the car, and then I would set the tone for the day. So now what I realized what I had to do was, with that extra 35 minutes, instead of driving to work, I go for like a 35-minute run, give or take, run walk around my block. And I put on that favorite song and I tune into myself and I give myself that space. That way it sets the tone for the day. So I guess whatever that is for anyone right now, whether it be going for a run, a bike ride, reading a book in the morning, sitting outside, having a coffee, with that extra time, I think it's important to, tune into yourself.
Yes, you make a great point. Times to reflect and enjoy yourself can be definitely helpful. What are some ways that the Art Lab has adjusted to this new online learning?
So we've been trying to utilize any online webinar or workshop that's offered. There's a lot out there. There's a huge community. We've been doing a lot of Zooms with our team members. We can't physically go into the lab, but we can still, bioart's a great field in which you could work in your kitchen and create some bioart. Or for example, myself and Jennifer are working on some videos and animation as well during this time. So the research has changed, but we've adapted to it, and we're just learning how to do it virtually. But again, there's a lot of resources for that.
Yes, and it's so important to be able to adapt to these new changes. a lot of the labs at the university are definitely making the same switch. So they're in your same shoes as well.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
Professor Elsaid, we already talked a bit about it, but how are you changing things? What have you learned from now teaching online?
It's a lot more difficult than teaching in person from both sides. I'm assuming from the student's point of view, it is considerably more challenging as well. I have learned that the things that I would have usually explained in class, like you took my class, and I would never post like solutions for the problems. I want you to solve them and to get stuck and then come see me and so on. So, and this is part of the learning process. Now we can't do this. So for the first time in my career, I've posted the solutions for all the problems online. See, Lyndon, you missed out on the good stuff. And and I've posted like examples from old exams. And so I'm definitely seeing a total change in the way that I teach. And I can understand that it's very challenging from the student's point of view. And that's why the first thing that I told the students in my 2 intercession courses is that you will have to take a more proactive role that you might not have had to before in this online learning environment. And I'm assuming this is going to be the case for all their classes, not just mine.
Yes, excellent point. And when I was in your class, the amount of engagement and positivity that was in the room it was great to see and great to feel being a student. What are some ways that you're keeping that light and that engagement online, trying to interact with your students? What are some ways that you're doing that?
We're doing virtual classrooms, virtual office hours, and it's not the same, but we're trying. I have never had like a student ask me a question on like in the virtual classroom.
Mm-hmm.
That you can chat. You can send me a question, and I will respond. It's not an email; it's a chat. So. It's definitely new, and I'm still getting used to it. I'm finding it difficult to kind of replicate that atmosphere that you have experienced in the classroom in an online environment. But I'm not saying it can be done. I'm just saying it's like the students are learning in new ways. I'm learning to teach in new ways as well. So it's gonna take a while.
Yes, it's going to take time, and it's going to take a lot of patience, both from the students and from the faculty and staff at the University of Windsor. So you made a great point there. So the final question we have today is talking a little bit about were you in proud? And it's a question we ask on every show, and it's my favorite question. So we'll start with Domenica.
So I would say I'm UN proud because the University of Windsor was truly the place where I found myself, not only as a student, but as a creator. And that was a very special moment for me. Coming out of grade school, high school, not sure where I fit in. I really did find myself there. I made connections with amazing students whom are still my friends. And I had amazing mentors like Dr. Jennifer Willett, and like the faculty at the School of Creative Arts. And now I am so happy to be working alongside some of these esteemed professors, faculty members, students. It's fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you. Hope, why are you UN proud?
I am UN proud because the University of Windsor is the closest university to where I live. I'm from Leamington, so it's a 45-minute drive, but I love that it's close to home, so it's my hometown university. I also love how, like I said earlier, how diverse the university is. I love how involved faculty is and how easy it is to get a hold of your prof or TAs, and I just love all the resources. I feel like I could spend a whole day just walking around campus reading like little posters and reading signs to find something that I need or more information. But I just love how loving and how community-based the campus is and everybody is.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it's great to hear that the university has that community, and like Domenica talked about a bit, is having the ability to have mentors throughout your your university career is so beneficial. So thank you for sharing that. Professor Elsaid, why are you UN proud? Best question of the day.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better than Domenica and Hope. I was born in Kitchener, but I'm originally from Egypt, so this is not very close to my hometown, but Windsor is my adopted hometown. You didn't think I was born in Kitchener, eh? And I love the city. I've been here 13 years, and I've had the very good fortune of having amazing students like you. And over the years, I have had the privilege of seeing these students when they graduate and they go and do like amazing things and have fantastic success stories. And it's a privilege. And the university has allowed me to be in a position where I have a lot of former students who I stay in touch with. And some of them tell me, we were students like 10, 11 years ago, and try to remind me of the jokes that I used to make. And I'm like, those are old. We use new ones right now. So it's an amazing place to work. It's an amazing city. And it's my adopted hometown, and I wouldn't have had it any other way.
Awesome. That's such a great conclusion to today's talk, is how it makes you feel at home. Being from a different country and a different city, Windsor feels like home to you. And I'm so glad the students are really making you proud, and the great effect that you're having on them and coaching them throughout their career is definitely inspiring. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. So
each week throughout the month of May, we're turning Windsor Wednesdays into Winning Wednesdays. So we've been doing giveaways on the University of Windsor Student Experience Facebook and Instagram page to give back to our U-Windsor community and the students during this time. So students have been interacting with our posts on social media in order to win gift cards and a variety of different things that can help them during this time. So in just a moment here, I'm just going to announce the this week's winner. So we'll have a virtual drum roll. There we go. We're ready. Here we go. So this week's winner is Ashley, John, and Athena. This week's winner, they've won $50 Walmart gift card. Sorry for cutting off your head there. And then, yes, both won a $50 Walmart gift card. So please send us a message to claim your prize. And thank you for participating. And to the excellent guests we have on today's show, thanks so much for joining us today, and I hope everyone stays safe.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye now.
Thank you so much.